Hey everyone, Road to Retire, the channel where I try to retire early with the help of side hustles. I'm red, I'm flushed. I'm sorry if I'm panting or sweating or whatever. I just got back from a run, and that's kind of the focus of today's video. It's a sombering reminder. First of all, I'm sorry for I haven't uploaded in forever. It's just my life right now. I have a child. I'm supporting my wife and my child, and I got to go into the office for work now, and it's busy season at work, so it's brutal. Doing YouTube side hustles is just not a high priority for me at the moment. Hopefully down the line, when I have a little bit more room to breathe, I'll be able to focus on YouTube again. I definitely do not want to abandon the channel or anything like that, but it's just a reality of the situation right now. And coming to grips with the reality is a big portion of this video. It's like I talked about burnout a lot, having burnout doing side hustles because you're just focused on money. And if you're doing online side hustles like I primarily was, there really is no other way around it than just doing hours. And it was really brutal on me to the point where it's like I would get up 5:30 in the morning, work on Amazon Mechanical Turk or UHRS, Data Annotation Tech, whatever I may have. And then lunchtime, I would do side hustles. And then after work, I would do side hustles. And it wasn't too big of a deal until I was fortunate enough to have my firstborn son. And this is where I realized, now that I'm kind of past the side hustle grind, just doing some self-reflection, how bad I screwed up my life during the past couple of years. And it's all about side hustles and making money and just that greed of wanting to retire early. Now, retiring early in itself isn't a greedy notion, but the idea that I just wanted to accumulate as much money as physically possible as fast as I humanly could, it took a toll on me. And I know you're reading the title of this video and you probably think it's a little clickbait. I promise you it's not clickbait. And it's not just the usual, oh, I was working so hard, I got stressed, I ate crap and I gained some weight. Yeah, that did happen, but that's not nearly the point of it shortened my life. There's a lot of mental play here. And what I mean by it is that it all compounded. So there's the whole weight thing, but there's also, when I'm looking back and self-reflecting, not only was I sacrificing all of my health to try and make a quick buck, and I mean quick buck, as quick as I possibly could, as fast as I could, I started eating unhealthy and all that stuff. But I had my son, one of the best miracles to ever happen to me. I had, problems in the past. I have fertility issues. It's my side, not my wife. And it was miraculous that we were able to have our son. And I was blessed enough to have paternity leave. And it's just all I kept thinking about. It's I didn't really do any side hustles during paternity leave, but I just kept thinking about it and what could I do next? How can I make the next dollar? And it got to the point where it's I could not even enjoy my son. One of the, if not the greatest thing to ever happen into my life. I'm looking back at the days that I had paternity leave, and it's just tarnished by me thinking about money all the time. And it became an issue. And it's just this side hustle culture in me of trying to retire early. And it's just I just was balls to the wall. I got to make money, got to pay the house out, got to pay the truck off, got to fund my covered call portfolio and retire early as soon as possible. I don't like work, blah, 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 blah. And it's just that priority ruined my life in a lot of ways. Mentally, it's I'll never get over the fact that I ruined the opportunity to just take a step back and just enjoy life in front of me that was happening. I was blessed enough to be able to have a shelter and have a stable job at the time that blessed me with paternity leave, and I just blew it. It's all I thought about was money, and it's just I did not enjoy the presence of my son nearly as much as I should have. Of course, there was good moments in there, but it's just between the sleep deprivation, it's that every newborn parent has. It's just all I kept thinking about was making money, and it's just I owe it to my wife and I owe it to my son to just what are you doing? You know what I mean? There comes a time and a place, and it's just I'll never get that time back. Now, hopefully, knock on wood, we can have a second child, and I will never ever make the same mistake. But who knows? Maybe a second child's not in the cards or whatever the case may be. The point is, I have major, major mental regrets about that. About stuff that it's just like, there's nights where it's just like I could not mentally decompress myself from the thought of making money and doing side hustles and just being on the grind at all times. Now, look, I know I'm coming from a weird position here because at this point in my life, I'm 34 years old. I have a paid off house that's hopefully my forever home. And my truck literally has one more payment next month. And then we are completely debt free in this household. My wife and I have done an amazing job paying off all the debt. And we're not even 35 years old. And it's not like we did the Ramsey method where we have like barely anything in retirement and, just hunkered down on debt. No, we did a great job of balancing both. She's definitely the saver and I'm definitely the more take all the side hustles as possible and just put it on the debt. And that combination led to a great household mentality. So financially, yeah, I'm great now. I'm in a great position. I don't really need to worry about side hustles anymore. But it's just mentally and physically, I don't know if it was worth it. And I'm just speaking candidly like I always do on this channel that if you're new here or if you haven't heard me say it on this channel before, I have polycystic kidney disease where it's a disease, hereditary, I can't control. There's no therapeutics really effective for it as of yet, but it's just like your kidneys genetically just grow over time and they get innumerable cysts around them. It'll come to the point where I'll need a transplant or I'll die. And the average life expectancy for someone in my condition is around 64. So couple that with the fact that I am 6'5", I needed to be taking way better care of myself or else I'm not even going to reach that 65. And what's the point of burning all these mental calories to get as much money as possible if I could possibly be dead by 55 and not even enjoy it? And what's my quality of life going to be if I keep going down this treacherous hole? So I owe it to my immediate family and I owe it to myself to just be the best person, the best version of myself that I could possibly be. Like it got to the point where I could barely jog a half mile without stopping, and not a fast pace, like a 12-minute mile. I could only do like a half mile before stopping. When I was someone in college where I could easily run 8 miles a day without stopping and just without even like taking drink breaks. I could run 8 miles a day without sweating. I was doing like triathlon training at the time. And now it's like I could barely run a half mile. My heart rate's going crazy. My blood pressure's creeping back up. And the fact that I know I have this disease and I'm still like neglecting it for money, hopefully I can just stop it all now and focus 100% on my health the way I was like focusing on side hustles. And hopefully this was just a blip in the radar of my life and I can get it back on track and it hasn't significantly taken years off my life. But who knows, with polycystic kidney disease, it's not like there's many cases of kidneys like shrinking back into size. Once you kind of screw yourself over by eating poorly and eating a lot of sodium, you're kind of screwed unless you get a kidney transplant. So, I'm sick of it. It's been a hell of a grind. I think I'm there. And it's like, I know the goal was to retire early this whole time. And that's the name of the channel, right? Road to Retire. But I think getting debt free through the side hustles, I've earned over 6 digits, over $100,000 take home pay from side hustles throughout my life. I think I'm kind of calling it quits on the side hustle, at least for a good chunk of time, or at least until I develop a better, healthy relationship with money. It just has to happen. So this has just been a really candid, maybe a warning to all of you out there who are just so focused on the money. You will regret it. And I know, older, wiser people will tell you this, when they're like in their 60s or 70s or whatever. They'll always tell young people, oh, I wish I traveled more. I wish I spent more time with my family. I wish I didn't work so hard at my job. This is me, someone who's 34, technically in like the prime of my career, telling you that. So just a little warning and a little, don't stretch yourself so thin where it's just like you're taking the glory years of your life away from yourself, all for the sake of a dollar and in vanity. Because it's like, at the end of the day, yeah, it's great. My debt's paid off or whatever. And it's like financially secure. But I'm so worried about my health at this point where it's just like, what good would be retiring early in 10 years if I just cut my life short by 3 years by sacrificing so much? So little words of the wise, 34-year-old old man whistling for you. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you experienced something similar. I don't know when the next video will be, so I'll see you when I see you.